You know, when we think of Christmas now, we think of all the traditions, don't we? And many of those traditions really started way back during the Victorian era. Of course, many people realise that the Christmas tree really was an imported piece of, well, wonderful adjustment, all thanks, of course, to the late Prince Albert. Alongside Queen Victoria, all thanks to the paintings and Christmas cards, they made Christmas rather special. The cosy sort of Dickensian Christmas that everybody likes to think and dream about, with, of course, roaring fires, wonderful sort of snow-laden windows, and more importantly, Santa coming to town. You know, the sort of thing. However, what a lot of people don't realise is exactly how the royals operated during the Victorian Christmas. As I said, you see, Queen Victoria really, alongside Prince Albert, brought a lot of different things in. The traditions that are really upheld today inside the British monarchy. Christmas presents on a Christmas Eve. The only difference is that she didn't want the presents wrapped. She preferred them to be laid out upon a table, you know, toys for young children at one end, and of course the adult presents at the other. That was the sort of thing that she liked to do. On Christmas Eve, around about 3 to 3:30, she would go down to the servants' hall and personally hand out all of her own Christmas presents. And she delighted in seeing exactly what she got for people, because she'd done a lot of research and found out that they needed this or they needed that. And it may be something, you know, more practical, not necessarily frivolous. But when you delve into the archives, what you find is, in fact, that basically what Queen Victoria started, people would say carries on today. You see, I don't know if you're aware, but if you send a present or anything like that, a gift to the monarchy, it isn't kept by them. And most things like toys and gifts, particularly to royal children, are then distributed out to the much needed hospitals, particularly at Christmas time, so children have something to play with. However, Queen Victoria did things a little bit differently, as we found out on so many occasions. You see, what she liked to do with the sort of excess food that was there in the palace, or indeed Osborne House, wherever she was, she liked to make these nighttime deliveries. Now, what's fascinating about this particular story is it's something that she apparently kept incredibly secret. Even the media of the day knew a little bit of it, but not too much of it. And what would happen was, now you have to remember, this is the important bit, not many people knew what Queen Victoria looked like. Remember, no photographs as such, they didn't have access to that, so she would go to the poorest areas alongside some of her trusted sort of servants and people like that. She would remain in the carriage, but they would give out to the people that she felt were the most needy, perhaps clothing, perhaps, you know, cakes, food, turkey, that sort of stuff, whatever she felt was left over. According, though, to sources of the day, a lot of the time there was already things left over simply because she made it so. It always made, or indeed got, too many things in, so that she had the opportunity to go around and see some of her subjects up close and personal. Now, as I said, they wouldn't really necessarily know what Queen Victoria looked like, and that's the fascinating bit. So when you look back in history, so many people would have been very close to Queen Victoria, possibly seen her through the carriage as they thanked her, and may have just seen this little old lady or whatever, maybe nicely dressed, finery, that sort of stuff, but have no idea, in fact, that these particular goodies in their hour of need came from the royal household. And apparently this continued for many years, including well into Edward VII's reign. Of course, the sort of system we know today is still very active, and as I said, if you send anything, say, to Prince Louis or anything like that, if it's not needed, naturally it would be passed on to what they consider to be the people far more in greater need. It's a lovely gesture that doesn't often get reported, and I hope you don't mind me sharing it. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.